Our story started on a return flight from Europe. We were arriving in Toronto. We were probably 100 feet off the ground when Barb told me that she didn't think she would be getting off the plane. I looked at her, she was pure white. So I contacted the steward, and within 20 minutes she was in an ambulance to Toronto General Hospital. After arriving at Toronto General Hospital, they did an angioplasty, and we were advised that Barb needed a triple bypass, aortic artery wrap, and an aortic valve replacement, which they performed the surgery on the following day. She was in a coma for 14 days, and during that time she had a hemorrhage which led to a stroke, which has left her with visual impaired, loss of physical impairment on her right-hand side, and was unable to sit and talk for another 14 days. At that time, she was transferred to Fort Erie Hospital, and then 2 weeks later, she was transferred to Hotel Dieu, Schaefer. And then at that time, she was unable to sit, stand, talk, or walk. 3 days later, to my amazement, the therapist had her standing and took a few steps. Our journey through Hotel Dieu was amazing. That was in April of 2008, and in March of 2009 we completed our therapy. At that time she was able to walk the corridor, and her vision seems to be coming back a little bit, but it has been an amazing journey.
When I got to Schaefer, I was in with Dr. Dr. Millen came in and told me, "We're going to get you better." I couldn't lift my hand, and Dr. Millen said, "You have to learn to use your hand because you will want your hand." And I said, I remember saying to Dave, "Can't you cut my hand off and put a plastic one in?" And he said, "No, we're going to get you your hand better." And it was painful. That's why I wanted to. I thought if he could cut it off, I wouldn't have this pain. And he said, "No, we're not going to do that. We're going to get your hand working."
It was a journey that we never thought we would have to endure. When we arrived here, I thought I'd lost Barb forever, and when we left here, they gave her back to me.
With my therapy and I could go. I thought that I couldn't do things at home when I got home, that I couldn't talk to anybody, and I could. I'm learning to do that because they gave me strength to do that because they believe that I could do it.
The support of the staff, right from the hospital side through the therapy side, is phenomenal. Just phenomenal. They took us in, and I guess they became part of our extended family and always will be.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's nice to come back to see him.
The speech therapy department, they did a lot of work with Barb too. They really brought her along because when she came here, she couldn't even hardly speak. Everybody always seemed to be pleasant, upbeat, and very encouraging with Barb's work.
If the staff were standing here, I would want us to thank them for what they did for me. And I didn't know, I didn't think it was possible to do what they have done for me, because I knew I knew how bad I was, and the nurses were nice to me, and if I wanted something, we had to, you know, ring the bell, and then the nurses would come and see what we needed, what they needed. Yes, I would say thank you to the staff.
I'm sure years ago, before programs like this existed, somebody that was in the condition Barb was in would have just been left to vegetate in a bed. And because of the dedication and the work of all the staff at Hotel du Shaver, at least we have our lives back.